So here we are with part 3 for this TU8100 vacuum tube amplifier kit build, and I'm just starting on part number 3. This is the amplifier board. This is where the tubes live. If you haven't seen part 1 and 2, please watch those two. They detail the construction of the switching power supply for the high voltage for the vacuum tubes. It's a little chilly out here today, so I've just got the heat on here in my workshop. I'm just going to let it heat up a bit here, and then I'm going to start mounting parts on this one here. And we should be able to, I would think, in this video, we should be able to mount all of these parts, I would think, for this part of the video. I'm not going to go into any talk about theory or anything on this one, because I covered the theory of operation in part 2 of the series. So this video is going to be all build on this board here. So just bear with me for a few minutes here as my shop warms up. I'm going to get that thing turned off so I don't have to compete with the noise of that racket in the background, and we'll get mounting parts on this one. We're going to start out this video by mounting some resistors. I have a couple 33K to mount. 33K are, as we know, orange, orange, orange. So I have 2 of them to mount here first for R1 and R2. So I'll get the 2 resistors out. We'll find R1 and R2 on this board and mount them. And R1 and R2 go right down here at the bottom of the board. Check off R1 and R2. The next series we've got our 3, 4, 5, and 6. They're all 10K resistors. And here's our 10K resistors here. Our 10K resistors are going to be black, our brown, black, orange. So that's R3, 4, 5, and 6. And all 4 of those resistors are right here on the board. Next is 470K ohm for R7 and R8. So let's find our 470K. Here we go, 470K ohm. There's 2 of them here to go in. R7 and R8 it goes when R7 is there. There's R8 over there. Sounds like it's raining out tonight. I can hear the sound of the rain. So these are R9 and R10, 27 ohm. And they go right down here on the board. Let's just try and make it a little easier to see that. R9 and 10 right here, 27 ohms. The color code for these obviously is red, violet, and black. For 2, 7, and no multiplier for the third band. .2K is the next, and that'll be red, red, and red for 2, 2, and 2 zeros. So there's a red, red, and red there. It should have another one. Should be 2 of them here actually. I got one. I gotta find the other one now. So these ones R11 and R12, and R11 is there, and where is R12? And R12 is over here. R13 and 14, there's 220K. So that's going to be a red, red, yellow for 2 and 2 and 4 zeros. So 2, 2, 0 and 3 more. So 220K. That finishes up that pack. And that is R13 and R14. And they go right on these two here. And I think probably this video, there'll be 4 parts to the video. We'll finish this board off in part 3, and then part 4 will be the final assembly where we actually mount the boards together and put the controls and stuff on it and mount it in the cabinet and test it. I'm thinking it's going to be 4 parts. It all really depends on how long each of these videos are. I'm trying to keep them down to 30-40 minutes, right? So and basically what you're seeing, other than some of the segments that I've sped up, you're seeing this build in real time. So, you know, if you're putting one of these together, you're going to figure you're probably going to spend a few hours at least soldering in parts. If you're a competent kit builder, you should be able to do one of these things in a couple of hours. If you're a novice, that could take a little bit longer, but if I was not stopping to film this and I was just going at it, I could probably do this in about two 2 hours, maybe a little more. Okay, R13 and 14 done now. 15 and 16, 470. So get our 470s out again. There's 2 of them. We're getting down to the last of the components. That's when you find out if you're missing some, right? When you get to the very end. This is R15 and R16, and they go, R16 is there. Where is R15? And R15 is over here. So there's R16. And R15. And next resistor, there's two 120 ohm. So that will be brown, red, brown. Looks like these ones right here. There's 2 of them. And they go in spots R17 and R18. That's R17 is there, and R18 is over there. We have 2 more 470. The last 470s, the last 2 ones. And those ones go in 21 and 22. There's 22 there, and there's 21 over here. And we're getting close to all the end of the resistors now. I think there's like 3 more that goes in here, and that's about it. Now we can move on to the capacitors, and then the tube sockets, and the controls and stuff, and we'll be getting this board done pretty quick here, because we're running out of parts. Which is good. It's always nice to get to the end of a project, right? In anticipation of trying it out. And like that last kit that sent me a blank chip, I think this one, the chances of this one working are pretty good. It's funny because the company that sent me that clock kit, they said they're sending me another one. They've got a new version they're going to send me, so we'll see. Okay, last 3 resistors are 33K. There should be 3 more of them, wherever I did with them. Here they are. Here's the last 3. And that, I think, has got all of the resistors. And they go in the final 3 spots ports are 23, 24, and 41. What happened there? 23, 24, and 41 somewhere. The 41's way over here. Like you would think it would be 23, 24, and 25, right? But nope. Okay, that should have the resistors all mounted. We have one more FET to mount. This is the one that controls the filaments for the vacuum tubes. It turns them on and off. So like before, we'll bend the pins at a 90-degree angle here so that it will lie flat with the board, and then we can solder it down. There we go, the FET is mounted. What do we got next to do here? We got a couple of headers, JP1 and JP2. These are for the these would be for the voltage selector for the tubes. So that's these little headers here. So we'll just open up this bag, and there's a couple of LEDs in here too that are for, I guess, power. But we'll open up the headers. And we've got our headers that go down, and there's two of them, JP1 and JP2. And I saw where they went. They go on the board here. JP1 and JP2. And that's how you change for the different types of tubes on this thing. Make sure these things don't fall out of the board until I get them soldered in. At least that one's in. Tack that one in first and then go and deal with the other one. And basically what these jumpers do is they just switch. You move the two jumpers one way or the other to switch between 12 or 14 volt heaters and 6 volt heaters. That way, if you change out the tubes, it's easy to fix it. Don't have to do anything else. So now we'll just put our jumpers down. I know that these are the 14 volt versions, so we'll just put the jumpers on for the 14 volt tubes. There we go. Now we're jumpered for that. So that's got those in place. And we've got our jumpers on. That's step 3 and 4. Done now. And now we go move to step number 5. Time to mount some capacitors. First set of capacitors we're going to be mounting are these red. I think they're the red ones. Yeah, 1.5 microfarad. They should have a 154 on them, I believe. Are they? Which ones are they here? 154.15. 154. Yeah, that's right. What's this one say? 154. Yeah, these are the right ones. Okay, got the capacitors here. These ones here, looking at the picture here, they've got to be bent over and lie flat on the board. And they go in spots C1 and C2. Right over here, C1 and C2. So we're going to put these through the board, and then we're going to bend them over. so that they lie flat against the board like that. There we go. And then we'll bend our leads out like that to hold it in place so I can solder them in. And we have C3 and C4, which are 220 at 16 volt. C9 and 10 is a 4.7 microfarad at 250 volts, which will be these little ones here, these little brown ones. There's two of them. And finally, we mount C9 and 10, which are these ones here. I've already mounted C10. Mount C9. Solder it in place. That, I think, has all of the capacitors down. Now it's time to mount the tube sockets. We're getting down to the final stretch here of the construction. The tube sockets are still in the box, so let me grab them. We're coming to the close of this video because part 4 is going to be the final assembly. So here's the two tube sockets. They just mount through the board like that. Well, one of them's mounted, so we'll tack this one in first and then go back and get the other one in place. Okay, that'll hold that one in for now. Now we can get the other one back in and tack it in place, and then reflow them all. It's amazing how everything that was we thought was obsolete is coming back in style. Vinyl records are back, tube amplifiers are back. Today I just sold a steering wheel for a ColecoVision that I had been given with a bunch of other junk. And the guy that owned it said, just, you know, just throw this stuff out. It was in my storage locker. It's been sitting there for 35 years as I was moving, and he dropped off all kinds of junk to get rid of. Some of it had some good things in it, like the SLVR5s, like the one I fixed before. But I put an ad up on Craigslist for this steering wheel for the ColecoVision, and a guy came over and picked it up for me today and gave me some money for it. So all this old retro stuff, I think that now has, oh, I still got to put the RCA jacks on. So we're getting there. We're almost done. Now, the tube sockets are now mounted. I have the LEDs have to go in yet. So here are the LEDs. And it's showing me how, well, where the LEDs go. I don't even see where they go on this thing. I gotta find where they go on the board. How they want us to do this. The anode is the longer of the two leads on the LEDs. And we just push them up through the tube socket so that they're flush with the bottom. So here's the longer lead. We just push it up through the socket so it's flush with the bottom, and bend the leads over so we can solder them down to the board. And do the same for the other one. Again, the anode is the longer of the two leads. The cathode's also the side. It's got a little flat side on it, if I'm not mistaken. These ones are harder to see because they're small LEDs. But if you look at the structure of the LED, the cathode is the side with the bigger, I don't know if you can see it in there or not, but anyway, the cathode is the side with the bigger metal inside it, the base to it. The anode is the smaller of the two. And it has the longer lead, so that makes it easy to see. Just lower it down, bend it over, and solder it in place. And clip off the excess lead. That has the LEDs mounted. And now we have to put the PCB mounts on here and the audio jacks, and then that will complete board number 2. So I get my hardware, and we've got a mount. And we're going to figure out where this mount goes. Maybe WL? Is that what they call it? Or TM. There we go. TM. There it is. I can see where it is. It's listed TM, and it's telling me it's TM there. So that's where it goes. And it goes on the bottom side of the circuit board and solders through to the top, it looks like, from this picture here. It goes on like that. This is to mount the back chassis. Looks like that. Does the jacks go in? Like the jacks go in from the bottom as well? Yes, they do. The two jacks go in from the bottom for the left and the right. So let's solder this down. And then we have our left and right inputs. So there's jack number 1. Goes on like that. And then the red one. Even tells you what color. It's interesting that they silkscreen it in English, but the manual is in Japanese. Okay, our jacks are now mounted, and that completes the component mounting for unit number 2, the upper unit. Now we have unit number 3, and since there's only one part that goes on unit number 3, we'll mount that now. And they actually give me 2 of them. They give me a a volume unit and a volume unit spare. I guess that's in case you screw it up, right? Okay, volume control is here somewhere. Here is the volume control. I'll mount the volume control on this. And try not to lose all the hardware. I'm just going to kind of press this together because I don't know exactly how it fits right now. It's not really showing me. It looks like it solders in with the, looking at this picture here, it looks like it solders in with these tabs on the bottom here. So that's the correct way to mount it. So we'll solder down the volume control. We're getting up to the end of this video because the next video will be the final assembly and testing, where we put the unit into its cabinet, and it did come with a nice metal box. So final assembly will be on the part 4 video. And then it tells me I have to put these units together like this, and I guess I have to put the nut on there to hold the volume control in place. This is unit 3 and unit 4, so put the nut on there and the washer. Then I have to solder the two boards together. So we'll just tighten it up a bit there to hold it in place. And now I have to flow some solder down between here to connect these two connectors together. And when they're done, it'll look like that. So we've now made a connection between the volume PCB and this one. And that completes unit 4. Now let's take a look at the next page. And that's going to require mounting the boards. Okay, it looks like we're ready to start putting this thing together. So I'm going to end this video here. This is the end of part number 3. Part number 4 will be the final assembly of the unit, which we will be doing next. Thanks for watching this one, and we will catch you in the next video as we complete the final assembly. Thanks for watching.